going to take Martha's Vineyard and ship authority. Going to the tour bus now. This is the map of Martha's Vineyard Island. This is Martha's Vineyard. Now I am in Vineyard Heaven. And this is the Vineyard Heaven place. And ships. It's a place for the ferry and all the boats coming here. This is the ferry place. The next ferry will be arriving very soon in this port. People are already waiting for the ferry. It's a tour bus ticket office. It is just reaching to the port. I think in 1 or 2 minutes this ferry is coming to come to the shore. Oh, they're just coming. This ferry usually runs like 15 miles per hour, which is like 30 kilometers per hour. It's a good speed. It's running in diesel. Can also carry the truck and cars inside. Yes, just touching the tip. The seagull is making a sound on the top of the ferry. It's just touching out when the ferry comes forward, but it is going to stand still within a minute. Yes, it just reached. This is for the passengers to get out. This is where the cars come out. It's already moving the stairs for the people to come out. Yes. The people coming out in a minute. And here we see the cars moving out, starting with the bicycles at the first. Sorry. Yeah. Big truck like this comes from the bed. Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard, pick up 3, 4, 5 ounces of speed. Cut a little time down on that New York to Boston run. A lot of times they put into Vineyard Haven Harbor, await a favorable tide change and sail back out. So that's why the people here in the island, some people engage in land-based piracy. And really stormy nights back in the 1880s and the 1890s, they go down to the water's edge with a long pole with a whale oil lamp. They were a kerosene lamp affixed to the top of the pole. Black Dog Bakery sells all the Black Dog shirts and hats and underwear and all sorts of stuff with Black Dog on it. dog, and then things just took off from there. He does between 7 and 8 million right now in revenue from Black Dog Souvenirs. You can buy them all over the place. Annapolis, Maryland, Mystic, Connecticut, Bar Harbor up in Maine, Newport, Nantucket. Harbor, once Oak Bluff started to get into its tourism heyday back in the 1890s. And those are the gingerbread cottages on the right of the campground houses. That's the Martha's Vineyard Camp Meeting Association. It started back in 1835. Methodist came here in the summer 1835. Tabernacle and Oak Road. Tents over the next 20, 30 years gradually turned into houses. About 320 of those houses in there. All owned by the land is owned by the Martha's Vineyard Camp Meeting Association. You own the house. Release the land, sign a new lease every year. It means you have to follow their rules. They threw President Grant out in 1878. They spotted him on the second floor porch passing a glass with an 8 at 7 o'clock in the evening. He was out before 9 o'clock. Some of the houses in that campground area are so close together that every 4 or 5 years somebody will get their picture in the local paper painting the exterior trim of their house from their neighbor's bedroom or bathroom windows. You can't get a ladder in between some of those houses. I was in the roofing siding business out here for quite a while. I couldn't believe what you had to do to save some of those houses. Some you couldn't save. You couldn't get in between the houses. All right, we're going to make a short stop here in Oak Bluff. Pick up some passengers. We also have 154 species, nesting species of birds here in Martha's Vineyard. And I can do the whole list alphabetically. Anybody want to hear it? But I certainly can't do that. But I was surprised a couple of years ago to read that figure. Oh, parasailers are out there on the left. You can go parasailing, $120 for 10 minutes. Now hopefully that's airborne 10 minutes. Get in the boat, we're going to drive out there, strap on the equipment. Anything expensive things out here on the island. That's a freight boat out there on the left. We've got 3 of those. Sometimes the 4th is probably come to share with our sister island, Nantucket. We have the 2 big passenger vessels. And this is our new steamship authority on the left. They do a great job. Looks just like the old one. Well, the one they tore down, the one they burned down in the 1890s. We had some arson here in the 1890s. The Steamship Authority built 3 hotels. Span of about 4 years, big hotels. Turns out it was a man and wife couple that were burning these things down. They were a non-profit organization, too. They did all this for free. If you look down the right there, that hasn't changed much at all. Since the 1880s, 1890s, that was pretty much the sky. In fact, if anything, it's more of a blue sky. Oak Bluffs, or Cottage City as they called it in the old days. The land here on the right, that was set aside in 1865 by a man named Erastus Carpenter out of Foxborough, Massachusetts. He was the biggest straw hat manufacturer in the world at the time. Teamed up with some rich whaling captains out of Edgartown. They formed the Oak Bluffs Land and Wash Company, set this aside as public land. All of these houses on this stretch were all built between 1865 and 1873. Peter Norton and his wife of Norton Antivirus, they own that big one there with the red roof, the green building. I guess she's the big shot in the world of international finance. Makes quite a lot of money herself. They bought that, the old Corbin house, they bought it about 15 years ago. It was a 5-year renovation project. They brought it back in every historical detail, perfectly intact from the old days. 5-year project. Year and a half after they finished it, it burned to the ground in electrical fire, and then they built it again. A little bit of money in antivirus programs. That's the Joseph Overton house there on the right. Martin Luther King used to hang out on the front porch there. Well, Joseph Overton was a civil rights attorney out of New York, raised a lot of money for civil rights groups. The story on Martha's Vineyard is, and we get lots of stories on Martha's Vineyard, that's where Dr. King wrote his